Today I want to tell you about a bank that existed in downtown Brunswick called the National Bank of Brunswick. This bank was started by Major Columbia Downing. It received its charter also in March of 1894. As you can tell in this old picture, that the National Bank of Brunswick was very similar looking in color and design as the old City Hall. The National Bank of Brunswick had the same architect, Alfred Eichberg. And this is what it looked like inside the bank in 1898. As you could tell, it had the red brick and the light gray granite in between. You see the granite in between the red brick right there, and it's like that all the way down to the side. National Brunswick Bank, one of the first banks in Brunswick, but this, you could tell from the old pictures, this is the architecture the same of the National Bank of Brunswick. If you get a chance, look at the old picture. Had that same look like old City Hall. That's pretty cool, that brick and that granite in between. This is the original building. You can tell by the architecture on there. If you look at the old pictures, you can see it. But this is the National Bank of Brunswick. And this is what the building looks like today. The building's now occupied by a local attorney. But this, you can still see the red brick and the granite. This is today. It still looks like, if you look at the side or Mackin Square, you'll see the pattern. And this is the granite and the brick. This is the view at the top. You can see the arches right there. This is another view of the side of it. You see the arches right there, where the arches used to be arches all the way down the whole side of the building and in the front, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And that's also another view of the arches from a distance. Another view of the arch. You see the arch there and the granite. Another view of it. So forth. If you get a chance, Mackin Square, and take a look at the side of this old historic building. It's now one story. Used to be three. It's that Richardson Romanesque Revival style. It had arches on the side. You can see the arches over here, and also the arches in the front. There was arches always down each side. And this is a picture of the National Bank of Brunswick in 1908. It had like an angle. You can see this Mackin Square is here, which is there today. And if you notice today in Mackin Square, you can still see this red and white pattern on the side of the building. It's just a one-story building today. Look at that old car going down Newcastle Street. The first president of the National Bank of Brunswick was C. Downing. The vice president was E.H. Manson. The cashier was E.D. Walter. This is what an actual check in 1909 looked like from the National Bank of Brunswick. In 1958, the name was changed from National Bank of Brunswick to the First National Bank of Brunswick. Most of the customers of the National Bank of Brunswick, or the First National Bank of Brunswick later, were farmers and turpentine providers, naval store owners, all kinds of businessmen. The First National Bank of Brunswick changed its name to the Trust Company Bank in 1985. The Trust Company Bank changed their name to Sun Trust Bank in 1995, and that's what it's called today.